Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about astrological or zodiac sign compatibility between Virgo and another Virgo. And I see this as neutral. They are the same sign. You could have, sometimes in certain ways, you might have the great compatibility, but you can also have the familiarity breeds contempt theory, I think, could apply as well. Both these people can be very analytical, very intellectual, and very organized and systematic. And you might, when you have two people of the same sign, whether in a relationship, whether it's platonic or a significant other situation, you could have a mutual admiration society because one mirrors the other. And you have the thing is now, if this is a significant other, romantic, sexual type situation, and these people are living together, I think the one thing that's obvious is that I think there'd be a very good probability of their place being immaculate and very clean because Virgos have a tendency to be very meticulous and very neat, very organized, and they're the kind of people that pick up after themselves. And the thing about this is I think the one thing, regardless whether this is a platonic or sexual significant other situation between the two, that I think the knock on Virgo is I think sometimes they don't always have that strong ability to really cut loose and be whimsical and really show and really have fun. I mean, I'm not saying Virgos never have fun. I'm sure there's many Virgos out there that do, but that is not. But I think out of all the signs, I think that they have that tendency to express that side the least, perhaps. And the thing is, Virgos can often be dominated by work. Virgos can be natural workaholics. They work very hard and laboriously. Can be very industrious people. And if these people are living together and it's a significant other situation, they have to make sure that they have time for each other. So it's not a situation where they both come home late and they're both exhausted from working so hard and laboriously. And I think that's something to look at as far as this combination may go. Another thing too is when you have Virgos, you have two Virgos that can not just be analytical and intellectual, but they're very verbose. They can often be very articulate and have good vocabularies and very good at the art of verbal expression. But sometimes they could be a little bit too verbose and really excessively wordy. And the two of them might be a lot of times waiting for the other to complete the sentence or a sentence, I should say, because Virgos can kind of go on with their statements and and they're waiting for the other Virgo may be waiting for the point and wondering, well, what is it coming? And so that's another thing to look at as far as two Virgos go. And the thing about this on a positive note with Virgos is that they both have a proclivity to be, I mean Virgo has a proclivity, and yes, I don't think I said this applies to the sun, moon, and ascendant at the beginning of the video, and I'm sorry for that. Yes, of course it does apply to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. But anyway, the thing about it is neither one, generally speaking, won't have to worry about the other one being late because if it's an important or significant appointment, because both these signs have the tendency to, both these people being having Virgo in them strong, they can have the tendency to be very punctual and reliable, so they don't have to worry about each other being late for something such as an appointment. And as far as in the bedroom goes, well, the thing about Virgos is that you have that punctuality and reliability, and I think you have two Virgos that they can like routine and put an emphasis on that. So they would have to be pretty much have some kind of consistent thing going as far as this goes. But the thing about Virgos is that on the real negative side on Virgos is that sometimes they could be a little bit overly judgmental or critical. And sometimes I think this may happen in the bedroom as well. The thing what's interesting in Virgo is that like the other two Earth signs, Capricorn and Taurus, they could be more sensual and demonstrative in private as opposed to what they're showing outwardly in public. And they're generally these Earth signs generally, I don't believe, are really like to show that love expression a lot when they're out in public in front of others, but behind closed doors, they could be more sensual and demonstrative. And I think this could apply for them, for Virgo as well, having the two Virgos together. So those are some things to look at as far as compatibility between Virgo and Virgo. And the thing about it is, I think another key to look at is that Virgos aren't always overly assertive about things. And I think at some point where you could have a problem in this relationship is that you really sometimes you have to have that person to step to the plate, so to speak, and to speak up if something is not right. And I think that's what you have to consider in this kind of a relationship as far as having a Virgo and another Virgo. And of course, there are apt to be contraindicators in the natal chart as far as the whole synastry goes. And I think more often than any other compatibility situation, when you have two people of the same sign, it really becomes essential to look at the other intra aspects between the people, and as far as a synastry chart goes, between other planets, etc., and with these people, because it really the Virgo, when you have two people of the same sign, it really seems like it could go either way. It could either be very good or it could go the opposite way. That's why I see when you have two people of the same sign as being neutral. So as far as overall, now anyway, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the energies of these people, and because this could indicate as to whether maybe this might be a little bit better than otherwise indicated, or maybe about the same as far as the compatibility goes. Now, in many cases, you'll have a conjunction aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 8 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 10 degrees. So that would form a conjunction aspect, which could be very intensifying, but also I see this as being neutral, and when they are neutral by sign, so again, you have the neutral aspect, and as I stated before, it becomes maybe even more essential now that to look at, in this example, to look at the other aspects between each other in the horoscope to kind of be that tiebreaker to see if you have predominantly favorable aspects or you have predominantly adverse ones. So anyway, you could also have a semi-sextile aspect take place between the energies of these people, which of course is a minor aspect. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 0 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 29 degrees. Well, that would form a semi-sextile aspect, which I call slightly positive or slightly auspicious, and it's like a sextile, but it's not as strong or intense because it is a minor aspect. You do have to factor into the equation, though, that these are neutral by sign because they are of the same sign. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Virgo and another Virgo. And stay tuned next time where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Virgo and Libra. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.